So I figure I'd try to go ahead and start documenting where we're at with the South Texas Chainsaw Murders. Um, Continuing filming a horror film that I'm defining as I go, and it's it's a hybrid of a sorts of independent horror vigilante action film. Chainsaw themed is a lot to say. It's a big chew, but I think it's a hybrid of everything individuals are fascinated with in the horror genre, bringing it in a different perspective as far as chainsaw theme. Chainsaw murders. I'm from Texas, and from, well, Lincoln Park, Michigan, into Detroit. Different upbringing. Had to move later in life at 10 down to Texas. Have lived on two different borders. Son of immigrants, legally brought into the country at 1 year old. Well, I ended up down in South Texas for my adolescence with not much to do around me, and making this film, or being in a studio making films. I end up making this film. So we keep going. I've made a short film called the South Texas Chainsaw Murders, and I have decided to make it into a feature. I wasn't satisfied with not being able to tell more about the backstory of Hector Sanchez in the original film, which motivated me to keep making a film, from a 15-minute short to what is now on the timeline working 8 different scenes and sequences right now, to include dream sequences that will be layered upon different new content for the film. It's 60 minutes in total with the layover content produced. We're looking at 120 minutes. We're looking at 80 minutes right now. Have 25 more minutes of actual timeline stuff to complete the entire film. The South Texas Chainsaw Murders starts out in South Texas, flashes back into 2 years earlier in Afghanistan and Syria for Hector Sanchez as a U.S. Army intelligence operator, human intelligence collector, and analyst, report writer, whose origin is chemical weapons, specialist, to say his expertise in the military is brought in at the time of Assad's chemical assaults. He's basically hanging out in the bush, under bushes in Syria, looking for any movement of chemical weapons or munitions or materials. Militants, ISIS had been using similar methods of chemical attack, chlorine, air bombs, whatnot. So, this character, stumbles across what looks like a shady situation with a woman about to be hacked apart with a chainsaw, and it introduces the chainsaw to the film, actually, and really revealing that this is about human trafficking. It's about the horrors that and violence out there in the real world and in life. One soldier's story of tragedy and witnessing tragedy and horrors in a combat zone. He's also subjected to it in dealing with horrors back home in the film. It is pretty deep and intense. I think a lot of people are acknowledging that, and interested in escalating that even in what could be the last film I ever make. That's the way I would look at every film. Is this may be the last film I ever make, or short film or whatnot, or commercial. It's a blessing to do it, and so I really like to take it in and soak in the moment when I am, and in making this film, and the people that have come in to help and to act. Eyes on, focus groups, as I've been assembling this feature are telling me good things, and I want to keep going with it. So appreciate your help and support as the South Texas Chainsaw Murders comes out. One day soon. I was hoping before Halloween, but man, it's tough to put together an independent film. And this is my co-producer, co-director right here. She's also in the film, standing in for a few characters. Here, come and stand up tall. And we are, you know, she's helping me a lot. Helped me set up the gear a lot, and doing some ghostly stand-ins for effect in the film. As a character is hallucinating, he sees things in his recovery hospital in rehab, and
he's even making another movie with only him.
What? What do you mean another movie with only me?
Well, remember that movie that you're making?
The one right now? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
No, the one that you're making right now when I'm gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right now.
Oh.
And well, it's about a character named Hector Sanchez, and
you know that I only have black mascara on. I don't really have black eyelashes. I only have black mascara.
Yeah, look, see. The original film, South Texas Chainsaw Murders, has a few little girls in it. A couple of little girls that played my character's daughter, and they're brunette. So I wanted to bring it back to similarity in some hallucination scenes in the rehab hospital. You know, seeing things and seeing his kids run around at this rehab hospital is a pretty deep and intense thing. So I am pushing, you know, a storyline and some interesting directions, right? Wait, what would you say? Talking about my film and, you know, the characterizations.
Well, I thought it was like amazing. Like I had to run across there. I had to run across.
Across that background there.
Yeah. And that's actually our backyard.
Now, what did I put on your head to give you black hair? It was basically a t-shirt, right? Mommy's t-shirt.
And you're sitting on it.
Yeah. Mommy's t-shirt? No, she took it.
Yeah, she took it.
And,
I feel like glitter on my shoulder.
you know, on set, you got an issue, you take care of it, and you roll camera, right, girl?
Okay.
Yeah, look at her.
Oh, it's not that funny.
I have so much fun with you. So thank you for support, and I'm going to keep you guys up to date on the making of a horror film. Stay tuned.